Here we are on this beautiful day at the new Los Alamos Nature Center. It's a very special day because it's the first year anniversary of the Nature Center. So last year at this time we were celebrating it. Yeah. Everything about Peak and the Community Wildlife Habitat Group just demonstrates how much people can get things done if they want it. So thank you for coming. I welcome you on behalf of the Los Alamos Habitat Team, Peak, and Los Alamos County. We are here to recognize Los Alamos as a new community wildlife habitat. What's so spectacular about our region is that we have this vertical mile of diversity, and that means that you can travel from the canyon to the mesas to the mountaintops to the skies and just experience all sorts of wonders within a very short time frame. So it's a spectacular place, and we're really proud that our community is going to be certified. So with that, I would like to welcome our first speaker, Hari Viswanathan.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming. And so I'm really excited. I mean, so first I thought I would just, for those of you who might not even know, why are we, can you hear me now? So why are we actually here? I mean, people might not realize this is the first community wildlife habitat in New Mexico, and there's just 85 in the country. And so I think it's pretty special that Los Alamos ended up being that. I mean, for those of you that don't know me, I moved here when I was in second grade. And I went away to college. I left for about 10 years, and I think one of the main reasons to come back here is I just love the natural beauty of this place. I'm also a wildlife photographer, and I really see all the different birds and cougars and foxes and bears that are very healthy that come through here. And when I show these to people in other parts of the country, they tend to say, wow, your wildlife just looks healthier. You know, like the wildlife that comes to your area almost looks like they're like the professional athletes of the wildlife world. And I think it's because the canyons and the mountains and all the corridors, I mean, it's really made for a nice place to live. And I've always been proud of how much Los Alamos cares about its wildlife community, and I think it's very appropriate. And I'd like to thank Peak and the Nature Center. That's one of the things that's made this whole thing possible. Also Los Alamos County and the Recreation Department, and very importantly, the public schools. I mean, we've got the Barranca Nature Club here. We never had things like that when I was in school. We got the Mountain Choir and Mountain Green team. And another thing that really speaks volumes is, as far as certification, we have 2 elementary schools that have certified as wildlife habitats, as well as the middle school and the high school, which is a difficult demographic to reach. And so I think it's really special that we have people at the middle school and high school level still keep caring deeply for this. And so I thought I'd just quickly say, what does it take to kind of earn this title? It's not a trivial thing. In 1997, the National Wildlife Federation established this community wildlife as a way for homeowners, businesses, schools, community leaders to kind of protect wildlife habitats, and basically realizing that human development has kind of encroached on wildlife, but we can actually live peacefully together and basically promote healthy conditions for the wildlife through educational activities, community outreach, and environmental restoration. I think it's really critical, just the way the world is heading, that there's so many students interested in these topics now. I work in the Earth and Environmental Sciences Division, and in the summers we have so many students and working in these kind of areas. And so I think it's because of these kind of reasons. How did we get here? People might not know 1985 was the first community wildlife yard where someone certified it, and that was down in White Rock. And then in, I think, 1995 is when my mom did it, Salvi Viswanathan. That was only the 3rd one. If you kind of look to where we are now, we have 140 just in our little town. And if you kind of say, what resulted in then turning it into a community wildlife habitat. Both my mom and Michelle Alter, they basically decided, let's try to increase the awareness, the education. Back in 2008, they put together a tour of the yards to basically see this. And then also back in just 2013, we really decided to get serious about this. And so a small team of volunteers, which was basically Michelle Alter, my mom, Linda Bonacella, Heidi Dunn, Yvonne Keller, Laura Loy, Robert Walker, and myself, we sort of took this undertaking, and most communities take about 5 years to get this kind of accreditation, and Los Alamos did it in 2. As kind of a town of overachievers, right? Of A-type personalities.
We won't say that Sylvie was a nag.
She's an A-type personality. And then Peak, the nature center, is definitely a large part of this. And so what is the vision of this? I mean, our vision was basically that Los Alamos would be a place to be where people understand habitat needs of native wildlife and will intentionally provide for their needs through environmentally friendly gardening practices and community services. And so, not make wildlife a nuisance, but make sure that they're actually healthy and coexisting peacefully with us. And so our approach was to have coexist with the wildlife. I mean, we have a pond in our backyard that attracts all sorts of different critters, but they just they don't become a nuisance, and you sort of see when they come through, and it's pretty exciting. And when you show it to people in other places, they can't believe the diversity we have in this town. It's pretty amazing. I mean, for example, Yellowstone, if you go on a wildlife tour with a professional guide, they say you might see a bobcat if you're lucky once or twice a year on those tours. They come once a week to our ponds, both at our yard and my mom's. And so that's kind of an example. Yeah, and here. Yeah, that's right. And sustainability, I mean, we know that we're sort of in a kind of drought where there isn't that much water, and so gardens that are sensible, that also goes hand in hand. And another thing is if you have the native plants in your gardens, most of the wildlife do not become a nuisance. It's actually, if you see, oh wow, I mean, I'm so lucky I got bears on my critter cam on Mondays. I was trying to figure out, why was it on Mondays? Anybody know that? Garbage day, yeah. And then if it's a good fruit crop, they're also going to be there. But if it's just the native stuff, they hardly ever show up. Yeah, and I mean, they just come when they pass through. Habitat restoration for damaged areas by construction, drought, erosion, from our fires, the bark beetle issues, lessen the impact of litter on wildlife and the environment as it washes across and scatters across our mountains, mesas, and canyons. I mean, the trail system here is just so special. And, I've traveled to a lot of places in this world, and I still put this near the top of any place I've been. As far as our community, I mean, we've been very environmentally conscious for a long time. It's a very nice community to be a part of. And to statistics, to kind of get this going, 140 homes, 4 schools went through this process. The nature clubs at these different schools are very active and very interested. And kids just know so much more about the environment than when I went to school. I was completely clueless. I mean, I was such a punk when I was a kid. My mom wanted to move to a house on the canyon, but my friends were where they were. They were in my little home, which wasn't on the canyon. So I'd always say, why do you want to move to some ditch? And now I'm basically, my son is not like that. He actually seems to appreciate all this, and he's a definitely version 2.0, And so, to kind of wrap this up, requirements of getting this in 2 years is very much Peak just being such an exciting place to be. I mean, we've got basically scientists even at LANL that participate in the Peak programs and stuff that are internationally famous. We have people coming from all over the place, and living in this town interwoven with these natural corridors, water, food, cover, places to raise young are just easy things to achieve here. And I think we want to emphasize that just because we've achieved this, we want to keep really promoting the education aspects of this, because I think it's critical, even from a scientific point of view, where science is heading. Basically, environmental issues are going to be a big part of science coming forward, and it's very exciting to have all these kids actually interested about it. And so that's what I'd sum up with. So thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Hari. I'm sure a lot of you have seen his spectacular photography in the newspaper, and he has a website with it, and he's really added to the community's appreciation of wildlife through his photography. I also want to mention that, I don't know if you're aware, but Peak just won the State Environmental Education Award. Is that what the title is of it? Yeah, so Peak just won that award. So we have an outstanding staff that just does amazing things. So couldn't make me prouder as one of the founders, that's for sure. So I'd like to next introduce somebody from our county council, and that's Pete Sheehy. He wrote a letter of support for us way back when we were just sort of starting. So he believed in us from the start. So welcome, Pete.
Good morning. When County Council voted to build the Nature Center, we knew we would be supporting the community's strategic goals of environmental stewardship and supporting education. What we didn't know, it was a nice surprise, that we were also creating a bona fide tourist attraction. Thousands of people come here every year because of really the fantastic programs that Peak offers, and that supports another strategic goal of stimulating and diversifying the local economy. Now, of course, we're fortunate to live in such a beautiful place, and so when I understood that this effort was on to get our community certified as a wildlife habitat, it was only too easy to write a letter in support of that and telling about some of the other things that our county does. The certified wildlife habitat community involves homes, businesses, and county and school facilities, all to meet these standards so that wildlife are welcome and safe. What we know, and this is a basic value in the community, which I was able to put in the letter, is that a community that is good and welcoming for wildlife is a better community for all of us. That's what Peak and the Nature Center does and this effort. So I'm only too happy to be here today for the National Wildlife Federation to certify us as New Mexico's first certified wildlife habitat community. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete, for coming. So we're very honored today to have a representative from Washington, D.C., from the National Wildlife Federation. We've been talking to her since, I know, 2008, 2005, I don't know, for a long time. So she's been with this project for a long time, and she's sort of been our guiding light, and we really appreciate that. So welcome, Louisa Grant. Just hold it close to your mouth.
Okay.
Just to the...
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's an honor and it's a pleasure to be here in Los Alamos today to officially recognize Los Alamos as becoming the 85th certified community wildlife habitat in the nation. And also, most importantly, I think anyway, for becoming the first certified community wildlife habitat in New Mexico. There's an old Chinese proverb, and it goes like this. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But for today, I'd like to change that up a little bit. And I'd like it to be the journey that Los Alamos took to become the first certified community wildlife habitat in New Mexico began with a single email. It was a long email. And it was an email that I received in my inbox from Selvi. Selvi, can you wave and make sure everybody knows who you are? In this email, Selvi mentioned to me that she was a member of the National Wildlife Federation, that she had a community, her habitat was certified, And then she went on to give very detailed explanations about her gardens, about her butterfly garden, her hummingbird garden. And in the course of reading that email, Selvy's love of nature, her wanting her desire to provide for wildlife, and her energy came shining through to me. And I knew that no matter what, I would never be able to say no to Selvy. And so at the end of Selvy's email, she mentioned, my home is going to be on a garden tour. Do you have any brochures to send to me? I'm like, Selvy, whatever you want, whatever I have, you got it. So I sent them. A short time later, there's another email that came. And it said, Louisa, I work at a nature center. Do you have any posters for our walls? And I'm like, I really don't have any. But Selvy, yes, sure, I'll send you a poster, whatever. I'll find one for you. And so that was the start of our correspondence. And it continued through the years until about a couple of years ago. I think it might have been a little bit more than 2 years ago. And Selvy sent an email and asked, Louisa, do you think that our nature center could be certified? And my response was, Selvy, with your energy, the entire Los Alamos community can become a certified wildlife habitat. And so she did it. But not really. It wasn't Selvy that did it. It was the entire community. It took the work of the Los Alamos Habitat Committee. And those on the committee, can you please raise your hands, because you all deserve a lot of credit for your accomplishments and for all that you have done with your demonstration gardens, the presentations that you've done on how to have a certified, how to have a provide for wildlife in the backyard, for having 4 schools within Los Alamos certified is a great accomplishment and something that you really need to be proud of. But you know, it took Selvy, it took the Habitat team, but it was more than that. It also took the community. Does anyone here have a certified habitat in your backyard? There you go. You all of you have helped the community achieve this great recognition. And on top of that, it also took businesses to also become certified, such as the Los Alamos Co-op Market. It also took the town to certify parks. And it also took businesses, schools, parks, and places of worship. And so with that, I'd like to say, let me see. I'd like to recognize Los Alamos for this well-deserved achievement. And you really all deserve a great deal of credit. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Louisa. So, is there anybody from the public schools in the audience? Okay, we got everybody over here, and we got all these kiddos. We have Dr. Steinhaus over here, our superintendent. So as an educator, the most exciting piece to me is getting kids involved. And I'm very pleased that we're going to have some student speakers right now. So we're going to talk, I'd like to introduce Miss Carr and Ms. Brown, who are going to come on stage with their Barranca Nature Club. And their student speakers are going to be Kaya Loy, Jacina Hornberg, okay, come on over, Kylie Lovato, Lena Ronning, and then the rest of the group is going to stand behind. And they have a few words to share with you once everybody gets on stage with their teacher. So teacher sponsors are really important because they do this all after school pretty much, so, or on their lunch hour or whenever. So thank you for coming, and thank you, both of you teachers, for what you've done.
It is an honor to be in an amazing club that has worked at our school to increase awareness of our nature world. We have helped our community become the first in New Mexico to become certified as a wildlife habitat. Barranca Mesa Elementary Nature Club members learn about recycling, water conservation,
native plants, and how to make Earth a cleaner, healthier place to live for all of us. We have also learned ways to help birds, plants, and animals by helping to create a wildlife habitat at our school. We even have a worm bin to help us learn about composting.
Our club wishes to continue this work and spread the word about conservation and recycling and sustainability. We are very excited to be here today to be part of this celebration.
Okay, thank you for all your good work. Okay. Good job. Good speaking voice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Verona, do you want to stand with the club? You can come here with the Mountain Club. Okay. So our next group is from Mountain Elementary School. I was a sponsor of the Green Team, and we have the couple kids here that helped to get the Mountain School campus certified. And I'm looking in the audience because we have a teacher back there, Miss Clayton, who's done a tremendous amount of stuff with gardens and education. So thank you for that, Kim. Okay. So let me welcome Alexander Watt and Nikolai Dickens and Verona Brown. Okay. I think you're just going to be the speaker, right? Right. Okay.
Sure.
Yes, the microphone.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. I am Alexander Watts from the Mountain School Green Team. We certified our school in 2014. To do this, we looked at our school for the 4 elements of a healthy habitat: food, water, places to raise young, and shelter. We made posters in our school and went into classrooms to teach the students about the 4 elements. Then our PTA gave us money to certify the school as a wildlife-friendly habitat. Other eco-friendly projects we did were hosting a recycle fashion show, putting on Earth Day skirts. We also competed in state contests and collected the most cans and most plastic bags. We won both. Have a happy Earth Day.
All right, we're going to have the middle school come, but our representatives from there, like so many of our kiddos, are very busy, and they're at the state band competition, so we're wishing them well. It was a young lady named Maya Rogers and another lady named Beth. And then we have, next up, we have our high school eco club, and this is sponsored. Barbara Musgrave, come on over. Yeah, Barbara Musgrave, again, is their teacher sponsor, and we really appreciate that. So we have Lexi Timmermans, Akane Dunn, and Jessica Hall. Okay.
Hi. We are not as prepared as the elementary schools. Sorry. We weren't. Yeah. We certified our wildlife habitat actually just a couple of weeks ago. When we first learned about it, we really wanted to do it. We thought it was going to be so exciting, but we didn't really know where to start. We had this kind of like barren land like behind our science wings that we thought would be a perfect place, but we didn't really know what to do with it. We had a lot of support from Peak and the Garden Club, especially. A couple of us from Club went to go talk to them back in November, and we told them about how we wanted to get the club certified, the high school, and they graciously donated us $100, which was awesome because we had no money previous to that. So, we told this is our sponsor, Miss Musgrave. She's really cool. We told her the supplies we wanted to buy. She got them, helped us set it up, and then certified us on the website. So that was really cool. I think being in high school, people aren't really motivated, so That was really hard, but like it made us feel more connected to the community. So that was really fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty. Make sure I've got all my introductions. Alrighty. So Pete and Louisa and the Habitat team, if you could come on stage. And the Habitat team would need the certificate. You might give that to, I guess it goes to Louisa to present it. Louisa presents it to Pete. Louisa, okay. So you can just present it. Okay.
On behalf of the National Wildlife Federation, I'd like to present this certificate of Los Alamos, New Mexico, becoming the 85th certified community wildlife habitat and the first in New Mexico.
Okay. The National Wildlife Federation recognizes the certification of community wildlife habitat, Los Alamos, New Mexico. This community has taken exceptional action in preserving, enhancing, and restoring wildlife habitat and in communicating the importance of habitat stewardship to the public. These efforts, made under the auspices of the National Wildlife Federation's Certified Wildlife Habitat Program, contribute to establishing a network of thriving communities where people, wildlife, and plants can all flourish. Signed by President of the National Wildlife Federation, April 23rd, 2016.
Okay, as you all know, Louisa Grant came all the way from Washington, D.C. We are very, very pleased to welcome her here and to proudly show off not only our efforts, but also this wonderful new facility. And as a small token of our thanks, we have a gift bag for her. This is from Peak, and also part of it inside is from one of our very important partners, which is Bandelier National Monument, and there are some items in there from Bandelier as well. So please enjoy, and please come back. I actually thought about that, and everything in there is small and collapsible and non-breakable, non-liquid, non-explosive.
So we have a sign to unveil. This is going to be posted in our community. And so come on over, Louisa and Selby. Do us the honor. No, come on, Selby. Let's go.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll stand here. Come here. No, come over here.
All right.
Alrighty, so we would like to thank you for coming, and before we go, we have the mountain choir that's going to sing for us. Yes, Dr. Keller.
This is seeing this sign makes me. This is all sweetness and light, but there's a dark side to the quiet county opposition to putting up signs and about that. It's even worse because my wife told me it would happen, and then she got to say, "I told you so." I tried to put up our sign in the front yard up by the street so people would be edified, and it didn't work very well. I'm not very good with that. But then I saw something that caught my eye. The county has put up this rigid, amazing post with a sign on it that says "No parking on this side," right in front of my habitat. So I thought the least the county could do would be to let me wire my little sign down below on it. And Yvonne said, "They won't let you do that." And I said, "Oh, they won't care." Came back a week later, the sign was on the ground. So, no, wait. So she said, "See," I said, "Oh, so that's just a mistake." So I put it on again, came back a week later, and they had taken it. And I would like to ask the county councilor if he knows where my sign is.
Don't work on it.
Alrighty. So we do encourage, this isn't an ends in itself. We encourage everybody to certify, and it's a very simple process. You go online to the Community Wildlife Habitat webpage with National Wildlife Federation, and you certify. It's an honor system. I believe Alexander told you what elements were needed, so please do continue certifying your yards and caring for our habitat. Oh yeah, there's literature on the table. So with that, thank you so much for coming. And Miss Klein, our fabulous choir and music teacher, has brought part of her choir here today to do 2 beautiful songs for us. Thank you, Kelsey. That was fabulous. Thank you so much. Take a bow. Yeah, thank you. All right. Okay, please go and enjoy the Earth Day events. Thank you all for coming.